Hello YouTube!
Hello.
Welcome to the Games Repository. We are talking Khans of Tarkir pre-release, what you need to know. If you haven't watched our other video, we talk about the...
mechanics and keywords found within the set.
That's the one, related to the different clans. Have a look at that one, get yourself familiar. It'll give you a little bit of an advantage on games day if you're not too sure what's going on. Hopefully we break it down for you quite easily. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the mana fixing that you can find within the Khans of Tarkir pre-release. There is a lot in here. Let's start with the dual lands then, shall we? Chris, do you want to take that?
So, within the set they're releasing a cycle of common dual lands, so that means that they make two colours. They enter the battlefield tapped, they give you one life, and they make, the ones I've seen for sure have been allied colours, but I think they are continuing the cycle into enemy colours as well, as they're doing 10.
Yeah, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
yeah, there's 10.
Pretty useful cards, not bad. It's at a common level, that means you're likely to get them for your limited play, so it's going to be easier to build multicolour decks in limited, and the gaining one life, it's nothing to sneeze at. You're just playing a land, it's not costing you any mana, happen to gain life. They come into play tapped, which is a bit irritating, but when they fix your mana base, it's something you can learn to deal with.
When you haven't got the ability to go out and grab all the lands that you need that are going to be as fast as you need them to be, like shock lands and stuff we saw in Ravnica, they will do for limited. It might be slow for one turn, but you get there and you get your mana fixed. The one thing I didn't check was they're not basic, are they? They're not classed as forests or mountains or anything like that.
They don't have a type, they're just...
Which is a bit of a shame. But, okay, so you've got one for each colour combination, pretty much, haven't you? Red, white, white, black, green, black, black, red, it doesn't matter, anyway. All of them are in there, you'll find what you need, and it'll probably pretty much boost out your,
yeah.
You think, I mean, to be honest, with that many cards in common, I think a lot of lands that will be pulled will be dual lands in the back of the booster. So it gives you a good basis, and don't sneeze at them because they slow you down a turn. You're in limited. You're not going for turn 3 or turn 4 kills. It's not going to happen.
And quite frankly, they're not a terrible budgetary answer to not being able to afford things like shock lands, fetch lands, which we'll come on to later, and other dual lands, because mana base is usually where a lot of cost for a lot of good decks is. So.
Okay. So the next set of lands that we'll talk about are they're uncommons, and these are the tri-lands. Now these also enter the battlefield tapped, so still a little bit slow for standard and such, but they're going to give you access to 3 colour combinations. Definitely nothing to sneeze at here. Each clan or house or way or whatever they are, class themselves as, have one. Yeah, that's a lot of colour combinations right there. I mean, something like that, like tri-colour lands, makes it possible to make a 4-colour deck quite easily if you get the right balance.
Back in the days when the Alara block was in standard, we saw similar lands to these. The combinations are different, so that the wedges that you had in Alara, like Jund, etc., aren't represented here. These are the new, different combinations of colours. But essentially they're the same as those lands, enter battlefield tapped. They saw play in standard. They probably won't see much play in modern because they are more efficient, they're more expensive, once again, lands. So possibly another good budgetary thing, and like you say, they make 3 colours. For an uncommon land, that's pretty useful.
Okay. Do you want to take the fetch lands?
We finally come on to cards that are a real heart and soul of the game competitively, particularly at the minute. So fetch lands are named that because they're non-basic lands that enter the battlefield. They don't make any mana themselves, but you tap, sacrifice it, and pay 1 life. You search your library for one of the allied colours these ones are, so let's say there's a black-red version, there's black-blue, etc. So you can search for a swamp or a forest. You can search for a swamp or an island if you're doing black-blue, or you can search for a swamp or a mountain for black-red, etc. So there's 1 for each of the allied colour combinations, so there's 5. They're essential for building competitive legacy decks and soon competitive modern decks as soon as they're released. They're brilliant cards. absolutely fantastic. You can search for any swamps or any forests, which means shocklands. And they're just absolutely fine. The lands don't enter the battlefield tapped. That's the real power of them. So you go searching for a swamp, comes into play, you can use it straight away. Really useful.
They do cost you 1 life to sack them. So you pay 1 life, you sack it, you search. That's basically it. We've talked before about delving ability mixed in with this. So that land is then, you can then exile that from your graveyard and use it to produce 1 colourless mana, which is really cool. These are, they're money. They're basically money printed on cardboard. Because you pull one of these, you're going to get good return for it. It's what everyone's going to be looking for. I don't think the Planeswalkers are even that good this time round. I think on top of everything, you pull fetch lands, you're in for a winner. I mean, I'm not happy because my colours aren't in there. There's no green-blue. I'm not impressed with that at all.
Until they reprint the Zendikar ones. Misty Rainforest.
Yeah.
That's your friend.
I'll be happy with that. The downside is in Standard, don't forget that the shocklands are going to be cycling out.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to use them in your Standard decks to go and search for your shocklands, because as soon as these come in, the other ones go out. I think you maybe get a week of play.
I can't remember.
That from pre-release to release day. That's about it.
Might be about that.
But it's still a really, really useful card. It really helps out your mana fixing, because don't forget, if you're searching for lands that you are going to draw out, you get the land that you want, and you thin your deck by 1 card. So that means the next time that you draw a card, there's more chance of it not being a land.
Super efficiency.
It really does work. Always chuck in fetch lands. Okay, so the last thing we want to talk about for mana fixing is the banners. We've seen a lot of this. Usually they pick something for each thing that they do within a block, and you get 1 for each. So like each colour will have a certain creature that does a kind of similar effect. We're getting charms again this time round as well. So each of the clans have a different charm that can do 1 of 3 things. But what each clan is also getting is a banner. Now the banners are 3 colourless mana to play. You can tap them, and they can produce 1 of the chosen colour from the
wedge.
The wedge, yeah.
The clan.
So if it's Timur banner, you get green, blue, or red from that banner. Really useful. Don't forget this also works on the turn it's played, because it's an artifact. It doesn't have summoning sickness, so that's really cool. Its later ability is you can pay 3 mana, 1 of each of the wedge. You can sack it, and you can draw a card. So it's not a brilliant thing, but it's something a little bit extra. Once you've ramped into that colour that you need, when you finally get that land out, you can then have a little bit more mana. Or have a little bit more.
Just allows you to draw a card once you've fixed your mana.
Yeah.
Pretty useful.
Don't know if they're going to get a lot of play in Standard, but it's another thing in Limited, I think.
Good and limited.
If you get one for your clan, put it in. It's a 3 mana colourless drop to fix your mana and make sure you have that 3rd colour, because you are searching for a lot of land now. If you're going to go 3 colours, you're looking at a 40 card deck, 17 land, roughly, something like that.
Yeah.
If you split that evenly, that 6 1/3 of, or no, less than that, 5 1/3 of each land type. You've got to have your mana fixing in there. This gives you that bonus. With that, you could probably, if you have a banner in there, you could probably cut your land out by 1 maybe, if you're feeling lucky. Yeah, I think that's about it for mana fixing. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think keep up for it. Buy booster packs. Want those fetch lands. Don't play in competitively. That's fine. Trade them away for all your fun cards to build your dream deck.
Get people to buy you boosters for them, and then you can draft with them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We're going to be doing a games day. I think we're going to be doing 2 in 1 day down at Mad for Miniatures. That's going to be fun. I'm going to be so tired. It's going to be ridiculous. I've got a day off before and a day off. No, I'm working the day after at like 7 o'clock.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. It's all good. I don't do anything important. Alright guys, yeah, enjoy. If you haven't seen it already, our other video about the mechanics, follow the link that's on my face. There we go. Bye. I've got to come over here because we haven't got a remote control to turn this. Sorry. Bye.